Hey there, everyone. It's December 28th, 2025 when I'm recording this, but by the time you see it, Happy New Year. I hope that you had a blast in 2025, checking out all of the bridge content on my channel. And there are a couple things I wanted to do in this video. I'm going to try and do this all in one take. So it's going to be more of just a spur of the moment thing to give a bit of a recap of 2025. I'm going to show you a little bit of the behind the scenes of my actual YouTube channel, including a lot of my monetization, because this was my first full year monetized. So you can get a little bit of insight into how I make money as a creator. And I'm going to share that off with you for a couple of reasons. I mean, one being transparency. I want to let people know what exactly I'm getting out of this in terms of compensation, as well as to just give a little bit more insight as to what goes on behind the scenes when I'm making videos and whatnot. Additionally, I want to do a little bit of a recap of 2025 because this was a super awesome year making content on the channel. I mean, definitely the biggest that I've had, even though I only started up the channel a couple years back. And then a little bit of a look into 2026. There's not going to be much that changes, but I do have a couple of ideas that I will want to introduce, and you can leave a comment below the video to let me know if you like them. So let's move on over to my YouTube channel. This is what it looks like on the homepage for me. Might be a little bit different for you depending on what yours looks like. But what I really wanted to get into was a lot of the behind the scenes stuff in my creator dashboard. And so this is what it looks like if you've made YouTube videos yourself or have dabbled with this in the past. Then this is your channel dashboard. It shows you a lot of stuff about performances, your latest videos and stuff like that, some channel analytics and things of that nature. And so I wanted to introduce the analytics because I'm pretty proud of the community that we've built over the past year. This was my first full year monetized. We got monetized back in August of 2024. And looking back at the last 365 days, honestly pretty cool. Never really expected all this to come from just making a YouTube channel when it came to Bridge, but we had 222,221 views in the past 365 days. Let's see if we can get one more by the time this video ends. We had 94.1 thousand watch hours, which is quite a bit. We gained 461 new subscribers. So down arrow means that we've had a little bit less than in, I guess, my first year or second year of creating the channel, but still numbers going up. That's always positive to have a bunch of new fans joining the channel. And I happened to make close to $2,500 from just ad revenue. Now, this is ad revenue, it's memberships, it's super chats, and all of those sorts of things. This is not going to include my Twitch revenue or anything, which is significantly lower than this, of course. And this also doesn't cover any of my appearance fees for being a commentator for a bunch of tournaments and whatnot. But you can see a bunch of spikes probably around tournaments that you might recognize. I mean, back in March, this was going to be the Spring Nationals, also when I won the Robot NABC back in March of this year. In May, obviously, this was going to be the USBCs. There's one dip in the graph where not too many people showed up to watch because we had an off day. We had one off day in all of March, or in all of May, but the rest of the days we had quite a few viewers. Over in August, this was the streams for the Bermuda Bowl that we covered a number of days, and then I went off to the WBF broadcast. And then finally in early December, just about a month ago at this point, we had the fall NABC as well. So that's what it looks like behind the scenes. In terms of the number of channel members we have 19 total channel members. That has been a little bit different than the past because if you notice the graph, I mean, starting when I announced that I was going to be doing members only videos for channel members, we about doubled our membership for a little while. And Hopefully people are still interested in that sort of content. If you don't know what the members only videos are, I can point to a couple of them that I've made recently. We had one about using Lebensol and other variations, about a 12-minute video, and then as well, earlier we had a no Trump system discussion. All of these are going to be a lot more in depth than what you might see in a bridge book or a bridge textbook or possibly some other sort of course. I don't do a lot of discussion about like what the system is, although I will present like a layout of the entire system and what all the bids mean and stuff like that. But I mostly describe why systems are structured this way and what sort of trade-offs are being made in structuring your system a certain way, as well as giving examples of where you're going to be doing better than, say, the field, who is using a more generic system, and examples where you're going to be doing worse than the field, because these are really important concepts to try and understand when you're playing at the table, is what sort of trade-offs are being made in my system choices. You want to really understand what's happening at other tables around the room. And so those are the things that I go into in these members-only videos. They will remain members-only for as long as this channel's up, from what I plan to do. And so obviously you can subscribe at any point, get access to the materials, but if you do want to take place in a lot of the polls that I put up every month to try and determine what the next topic is for the members only video, you'll need to be a member at the beginning of the month to sign up for that, cast your vote, and hopefully be influential enough that I will make a video on the topic that you care about and want to learn more about. Now, with all that said, so I think this is showing off the channel. Now I guess people have a little bit of a better sense of what goes on behind the scenes. I wanted to talk about 2025 because this was a super awesome year. In addition to getting more views, more subscribers and everything, and making, I mean, much more money than I ever would have thought possible from being a YouTube content creator. We did a bunch of cool things in 2025, bridge related. I mean, we won the Robot NABC, which was awesome. I'd been pursuing that for probably a year at that point. I don't exactly remember how many of those I played, but finally happy to win it early in March of this year, right before the actual NABC. We ended up joining the Real Bridge bidding panel, talking with you guys and doing a couple of those competitions, making some videos, and then sharing those with Mark Smith. He was excited to have me on, and that's been super cool. We're going to continue on with that in 2026. I worked with a bunch of cool organizations, BBO, Bridge Champ, and the WBF, to name several, doing commentary for them, which has been awesome. I'm hoping to continue working with them in the future. We'll see. I haven't heard anything from the WBF since my last appearance, but of course they haven't really put on a ton of major events. We'll see if they want to do something for the World Championships this year, which I think is coming up either in August or October. I mean, it tends to be towards the end of the year, 2026. We ended up switching from BBO to Interbridge for robot games, probably going to stick with that for the time being. And then, of course, we started making our members-only channel videos for bidding systems analysis. Now, moving on to 2026, a couple things are going to stay the same. Real Bridge bidding panel, still planning to do as much of that as possible. Hopefully going to get guests on from now moving forward. So either Craig or Aaron, or maybe we'll have someone else, a special guest, to come join me and discuss some of the bids for what I'm going to choose as my bid every month. More commentary with bridge organizations. I hope so. I mean, it seems as if VuGraph is trying to head away from BBO, meaning that if they end up moving to Real Bridge or Love Bridge, I haven't worked with either of those orgs. I also don't think that either of them are all that interested in adding in commentators for their events, but who knows? I mean, this is still a fluid thing, and hopefully I'll be able to work with whoever gets the bid for hosting VuGraph to the big tournaments this year. Into Bridge Celeb Challenges, the Into Bridge daily game that I try and play twice a week now. Maybe we'll try and do a little bit more of that, but I think I'm probably going to hold it at about twice a week. More members only bidding videos. I mean, as long as I continue getting more members and support of these videos, then I'm happy to continue making them. If people aren't liking the videos, then obviously please send me a comment somehow. Either drop it on the video itself or leave it in the bidding poll that I put up every month on the members only posts page. But I will try and do my best to find some way to support the people who are supporting me. And there is a Declare playbook in the works. I had talked about this a while back, and I started writing some of it. I think I'm 10 pages in or something at this point. So it's going to be a long one, and it's going to be fairly inclusive. I want to make it something that bridge players of any level can get something out of the book, and I think would probably be helpful for bridge players of any level, whether you're a beginner to an expert. So it's going to take some time. I'm doing my best to try and juggle that with a bunch of other projects that I'm currently working on, but that's one of the things. And then something else, I had been thinking about trying to do a little bit more commentary on general games. And I had noticed that a while back, Gavin Wolpert, maybe a couple weeks ago, posted on Bridge Winners that he was looking to set up a regular game of his own once a week. And if he's able to do that, I don't know if that's already happened, but if he was able to do that, then that might be a worthwhile game to look into doing some commentary for. I know that he would plan on playing with Raj, so this would be a sponsored thing. And it's not the same as watching a table at the Bermuda Bowl, but that might be an interesting thing to watch. I mean, if we're looking for high quality bridge just from people playing online during the off season or when there aren't tournaments going on, then I think this would probably be about as good as it gets. So if you would be interested in watching a little bit of that, I know that he streams his perspective, and I would definitely reach out to him before I decided to do it on my own. But if people would be interested in seeing me do commentary on this table, then you could get like two different expert perspectives on the hands, right? You could see Gavin's perspective, and then if you wanted to, you could also watch mine, either at the same time or at a different later state. Probably you don't want to have mine pulled up if you're watching Gavin because he's doing single hand commentary. But yeah, let me know about that in the comments. I think that's all I wanted to say in this video, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Hopefully that this was an insightful video, and I look forward to 2026. Let's make it a great year together. Take care. Have a good one. See you next time.